You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Mike Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime.
Woo, woo, woo.
Oh, you, I don't know how to do this anymore.
Oh, you don't know how to do
I
this?
thought we were
Okay, it
just doing
starts off with Last Man In podcast. So,
Last Minute Podcast,
episode number 189.
episode
And
189.
then you introduce who's here.
It is Cam,
Cam.
Daniel,
Yeah.
and myself.
Greg.
Why are you wearing a Coyote shirt?
Well, Coyotes are making playoffs, so. If you don't
It's
know.
not even an Arizona Coyote shirt. It's a CCM Phoenix Coyote
It's
shirt.
vintage.
Yeah, I got it. My mom got it on clearance when she was visiting.
Can you
old
make
people
up your
and everything.
mind? You're wearing a Philadelphia Flyers hat
Yeah.
and a Coyote shirt.
Yeah, well, I'm in support of Ekman Larson,
He's
who got
the
his
confu-
100th goal yesterday.
He's the confused.
And the Flyers, I only have about 2 weeks left of this hat because they're on another. They've only won one game in the last 2.5 weeks, and it was against the Winnipeg Jets. But I just want to say they broke the Jets' winning streak. They broke their losing streak. They helped each other slump bust. And NHL veteran of 500 games, Andrew McDonald, scored the game-winning goal. Never forget.
By
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. Andrew McDonald scored a game-winning goal on Connor Hellebuck.
Buy a glove.
Anything is possible in this world,
Buy a
folks.
glove. The puck was
And
literally
to-
in his glove, and the glove
Yeah.
was a centimeter over the goal line.
It counted. It counted.
Hey, it counts.
Yeah. No, what I'm doing is, I already told Greg on the way over here, I'm officially announcing my hashtag for the 2018 playoffs. It's hashtag ABW. Wait. Yeah, ABW.
Always be winning.
Anyone but Winnipeg. Hashtag ABW. Anyone but Winnipeg.
Here's my question, Cam. Where are you going to do this hashtag?
When am I going to do this hashtag?
Yeah, because you
I'm
got
gonna
rid of
set-
all your social media.
Abu.
I'm going to actually put it on Post-it notes and drop it on people's windowsills.
You need to get Snapchat back
May
just
I
for
ask-
your playoff picks.
May
No,
I
I'm not
ask-
even doing a beard either. I'm going to be shaving once a week.
May I ask why?
Why? I just can't have it. I just can't have it. I can't have people be happy. Why do I want people in this world to be happy? Come on.
Even if it's against Pittsburgh.
All right, filthy Phil Kessel.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
No,
the
he said he
comeback.
would even cheer for the Rangers.
Well, they aren't
Yeah.
making it, so that's
No.
fine.
He would cheer for Drew Doughty. And you know how much Cam dislikes Drew
What did
Doughty.
the Jets ever do to you?
They are. I can't have it anymore.
They've been horrendous every year until this year.
Yeah, except
know,
What have they
that's
ever done
why.
to you?
That's
They've
why.
literally been horrendous.
No, I can't. I can't have it anymore. I can't have it. And the emergence of the greatest defenseman known to mankind, Ben Sherratt. I can't have Ben
Mr.
Sherratt.
5-game heater.
The GOAT God, Ben Sherratt. I know. You know what I wanted? Even if the Jets beat the Flyers, they didn't. But if they did, I just wanted that streak to end. It was like, how
it?
is? Yeah,
Did it? Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
it did. I was
What was
fine
the
with
streak?
Laine scoring.
He had a 5-game point streak, and
And they were good,
The
too.
reason
They
I
were
noticed
bad
that is
goals.
because NHL, like every week, the hockey news will do like, "Oh, here's the guys with all the point streaks," and I'm like, "Laine, okay, Hall, okay, McKinnon, Tarasenko, Ben Sherratt, what the hell?"
What the hell is this? No.
But
That's,
fear not, he scored on Sunday, so he's right
No,
back.
what
He's,
sucks
he's
about-
right back at her.
yeah. What sucks about the anyone but Winnipeg is they played. Okay, if they play Dallas, I mean, I'm gonna cheer for Winnipeg.
Patrick Laine
I-
will win the series by himself.
Yeah.
Jamie
know that.
Benn will knock out as many players as he can
Yeah.
with clean hits.
Did you see the shot he made on the power play goal?
Yeah.
That was a nice
Yeah,
shot.
Hellebuck said that's the hardest shot he's faced.
Too bad he can't play goals, so kind of.
That was so weird. Why would you put your legs together? He had some good coverage on that empty net, and
One
then he
thing-
put them together, and that's where the hole came, and he shot it in.
I'm
for
not
a
going to
wheeler.
call out Dallas Stars fans, but all I'm going to say, because it's happened every game they played the Jets this year, and Jamie Benn especially,
Okay.
just right at the beginning of the game, they don't even try and play hockey. They're just like, I'm going to cross-check you, I'm going to kick your ass, and then they lose like 5-1. I'm like,
Everything's
maybe you should
bigger
just try and play
intense.
hockey, and you guys might do it better.
We have
Like,
one
they're-
line.
Well, I know, but it's just even Jamie Benn, like he runs around like a moron whenever they play the Jets. He doesn't play hockey, and then they lose. I'm just like, maybe you should just like don't be an asshole. Just
Maybe they'll
hockey.
be fine in playoffs then if they play the Jets.
I don't think-
Who's the other team that the Jets could potentially
spoiler
play?
alert.
Minnesota.
I don't think Dallas is getting in.
They
Minnesota.
play like junk.
Colorado, they're only
Could also play Colorado, which would
Colorado.
be
That'd be
awesome.
sweet. Not for the
Mc-
any ABW movement, but just because that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
You know what?
because
Hey,
McKinnon
I'll take Colorado.
It'd be an interesting
McKinnon will
series.
just take his entire team and say, "I'll show you the ways," and single-handedly beat the Jets.
You
It'll
shut
be
down
a-
one player on that team, they have nothing else. So like,
How dare you put that evil on Mr. Kerfoot?
Let's
I wish
just
I
say-
knew his first name.
How many first
I will
overall
take-
picks are on your team?
I will take the
There's
Jets
2 on
offense.
Colorado.
I will take the Jets offense against the
3 on
Avalanche
Colorado.
D-Corps any day of the week.
What, Sammy G? You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have faith in Sammy G?
Totally. Great guy.
Eric Johnson.
Who am I?
Yeah, the
Damn
worst,
it.
the worst
Francois
first overall
Beauchemin.
pick in the last 20 years. Except for
That's-
Yakupov,
Whoa,
maybe.
whoa.
Yeah.
And they have
Yakupov.
Yakupov as well.
Yeah, there you go. They got both of them.
Yes. So they have Landeskog too then?
No, they have McKinnon
And Yakupov?
and Eric Johnson.
Do you know
And
what?
Yakupov. So they have
And
3 on their
Yes.
team now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's what we
McKinnon was the
established.
first
Okay.
overall, though.
What?
Yeah,
Was he?
McKinnon was first overall.
because it was
I thought it
McKinnon,
was-
Drouin, the other person.
I thought.
Huberdeau.
Okay.
No. Oh no, I was thinking Murray, but that's Yakupov's year.
Can we appreciate the fact, though, that if the playoffs started today, Vegas would be playing Colorado? Let me repeat that. Vegas would be playing Colorado.
Someone is hosting someone.
How many combined points did we think they were going to have between the two teams this year?
Can you
Well,
go
how
back?
many points did Colorado have last year? Because those are the combined points.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Awesome.
I think Vegas might end up with the combined amount of points that we thought both Colorado and Vegas would have, which I would say is roughly about 110. And
don't-
Vegas right now, I think, hit 100
They-
points.
No, I think they're a couple of short. And the Avs are what? They're up around 90 points, aren't they?
I'm trying to think of.
It's on my
Oh,
computer.
hey Dan, you're getting awfully close. You're 7 goals away from owning a treat set.
Did I? Oh,
Patrick
I did.
Laine, 50
God
goals.
damn it,
Dude,
I did too.
I made a bet with my dad.
You know what? He's gonna do it. He's
Ah,
gonna do
I
it.
don't want to do
He's
it.
got 10 games.
I
And
can't.
he scores 2 goals a game.
I can't afford it if it happens. Why?
I saw you pizza from the Super Bowl
Well,
too.
I made my dad a bet that Patrick Laine wasn't going to hit 50, and he's like, "Oh, I'll take that." Then he's like, "You know what? Put your money where your mouth is. Let's go to Ray and Jerry's. It's a steakhouse in Winnipeg. It's not like the fanciest, but it's pretty nice." Anyways,
yeah.
but the deal was, he's like, "All right, but winner has to buy, or the loser has to buy the winner's meal and your mom's meal." And I was like, "Deal, no problem. That bum ain't getting 50. Oh, damn it!
I feel like a month ago you were sitting pretty good, but now
I was so good.
But now
and
you're
then
sweating a
Dallas
little bit.
happened. Can they just
the last month of the season happened.
let's see. I don't know what other big bets we have here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna owe one on that.
I don't think he's going to get
Oh,
50.
apparently you thought Nick Backstrom was going to hit 140 points.
Is that what I said?
Yep.
Oh,
Because Dan and Cam will buy Greg a pizza if Nick Backstrom hits 140 points.
I think
Danny
he's hitting
think we're
50.
safe.
He has to get 7 goals in 10 games. He has 20 goals in his last 14 games.
He has so many goals.
I think it's happening. At this point, I just think it's happening.
How many points do the Canucks have?
59.
Oh! They need 3 more, and Greg goes another treatza.
If they
treatza.
If they break 62,
It says from episode 156, August 1st. Treatza pizza if Vegas hits 50 points, which we all owe, so we'll just team it. If Canucks are better than Vegas, Greg owes one, which is obviously
That's
not.
Not happening.
But Canucks, if they hit 65 points, Greg owes a treatza.
And what are they at right now?
59.
59.
They
So they
need
have 6
points.
more.
They have
They
to win
can do
3
it.
of their last 10
Pull
games.
together, people. Pull together. We need those 7 points.
I'll
don't
take
have-
6 overtime losses.
They
to get
don't
there. I
have
even
Brock
care.
Besser.
They can do it.
Doesn't
Pull
matter.
together.
They
Doesn't
don't have
matter.
a team.
Oh, my goodness.
They'll win 3 of 10.
That's so good.
What's their schedule? Here's their schedule.
The next 10? No, make it interesting. Only name the last 4 games. Only the last 4.
Columbus,
Oh, no.
Vegas,
Oh.
Arizona,
Ooh,
Edmonton.
I see a 4-point possibility there.
You know what? They play Edmonton twice still.
No! Woo!
Chicago, hey, maybe they'll get lucky. St. Louis, Dallas.
Oh, piss. You're fine, Greg. Don't worry about it, buddy.
I feel pretty confident.
I believe.
I believe that we will
I
win.
believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe.
Oh, my goodness.
Is it they have to pass or
Just
It
hit
says
Six
65 points.
3 games, man.
That's
65.
fine.
3 games and
65.
or 6 overtime losses.
They could
I'll
do
take
it.
Push Edmonton
I
overtime.
gotta
couple
call
times.
Jimmy. Jimmy, you gotta pull through. I need this, buddy. You want me to just send you one? No, I want to earn it. Get those points, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Okay, so
So lots
GM
is
meetings.
happening.
Yes.
right now. Probably the biggest topic there is goaltender interference, which continues to be the biggest gray area since what is a catch in the NFL.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what a catch in the NFL was.
So, what is the right solution? Because
Well,
I have my idea.
Well, at the manager meetings, this is two potential solutions put forth by GMs in the league. In order to establish more consistency, were calls to put an official in the situation room and to have that same centralized review center make the final call. So basically, only Toronto reviews those goals. Or another suggestion made was assessing a 2-minute penalty for an incorrect goalie interference challenge. But they weren't wild about it since it's subjective and not black and white like offside, which is hilarious that they compare a problem they have with a current ongoing problem they have. They have to fix offside, and they have to fix goalie tender.
Well, offside isn't really that much of an issue. Like the offside challenges have kind of dissipated
I
this
don't
year.
like the foot lift thing.
Well,
like I don't.
It's
like,
the rules.
Who cares?
It's the rules.
If
Yeah,
you
I
want-
It's the
know.
same as if your your toe is on the 3-point line.
But-
It's now a 2-point shot.
Yeah.
The problem with the
It's a rule.
offside is that when the guy's toe is questionably off the ice, you can't tell. So they spend 20 minutes trying to determine if the guy's foot's on the ice. Honestly, my thing with the offside has always been cap the review at like a minute or 90 seconds. Because it's supposed to be for blatantly missed offsides that the referee should have called in real time. Give them a 90-second review. If you can't tell it's offside in 90 seconds, how is the ref going to call it offside in real time?
Well,
How?
My solution to
So
everything.
why not cap it to 90 seconds? If you can't tell, you go with what you called in the ice.
It's fair.
My solution
There's
to
a
everything.
doozy in the Jets game. I don't know if you guys saw the Chicago one the other night. No. It was like right off the opening faceoff, Chicago goes in and scores.
Oh, yeah.
They challenge for offside. The camera angle,
Very much looked offside.
it very much looked offside because Brandon Saad was on close side to the camera and he had the puck, but you couldn't see the puck because he was so close to the boards. Guy on the far side, clearly over the blue line, so when you put 2 and 2 together, he's over the blue line before the puck is, but because they couldn't see the puck, they called it a good goal.
So,
Which, by the definition, if you don't have concrete evidence...
But they didn't call it offside to be. Oh, that's your point. Okay, right.
But
That'd be the offside
problem
challenge.
being is when you go look at it, you're like, that's offside, but we can't prove it. So there's so many, I don't know, there's so many problems with the whole system, honestly.
Greg, you're gonna say?
well, there's one way to do it, and one of them is to have a referee in the situation room. I don't hate that idea. I also think that you're taking the power out of the ref's hands in that situation. What the ref should have is they should have a 30-second window, 30 seconds, to watch the replay once or twice in real time. No slow-mo, no slowing it down, because you have to react as a referee at real time.
To
So
keep
if
it
you-
human.
Exactly. There is human error in sports. Let there be human error. Let there be missed calls. It at least come down to, if the inconsistency is anywhere, let it come down to the human error and not to the actual just inconsistencies of judgment. Like, oh, this guy in War Room has been in hockey since 1941. This is his opinion on goaltender interference. And you've got this guy in the War Room. Keep it consistent. Referee to referee, keep it just real time. Because when you start slowing things down, any little thing can be perceived as goaltender interference. If your call is, it's a good goal, and the other team says, okay, we're challenging for goaltender interference, that ref has 30 seconds to look at that over. And if that's the standard throughout the league, no one can get mad about it, because that's the standard. And if it's in real time and you still don't have a conclusive idea, inconclusive, and we keep playing, because you're essentially hurting a sport that has, because this isn't the NFL, right? This is the NHL, which is marketed as a fast league, the fastest sport on ice, the fastest sport in general. But the problem is they have too many stoppages right now. They have too many long pauses, and they need to prevent that.
And that's the thing, because I will say, I was at the Chicago game last week, and it sucked because you get the build up to the game, the puck drops, the game's going, you get a goal right away, and then you get a 10-minute review. And it just completely takes all the life out of the game. You're sitting there, you're like, you're basically sitting there, you're like, at this point, I don't care what they call it, just figure it out. And then I was at the Nashville game a couple weeks ago. Jets did the same thing. It was a great game, back and forth, goals back and forth. Nashville scores, the Jets challenge it, another 10-minute review in the middle of a great game. takes all the momentum out of the game. So I agree. I think they should cap the review. If you can't tell in a minute or two or a minute and a half if it's offside, then you just go with what you saw, because it's human error. You're not going to call that centimeter of the toe being off the ice in real time.
Yeah, and I love the idea of just 30 seconds full review. Watch it as many times as you can in full time to get it over with.
No, there should be no slowing down.
I do think though, if they put a cap on if the review is a very short, quick thing, I don't think there should be a penalty if it's wrong.
No, I think the penalty.
I think they should take the penalty out, just because I don't know, it speeds the game up in my opinion. But
it does.
You can't just The point of the penalty was to prevent teams from just, oh well, that goal was scored against us. Our guys are tired. We're just going to pull this, even though we know we're wrong. That's where that.
Or
comes
just
in.
Hoping that they find something.
Yeah.
So I personally I think that the offside challenge should be taken out because you know what, we've talked about one instance in the last probably 10 years that was an egregious offside missed call, which was the Matt Duchene goal from like 2012, and we've talked about a toe being a centimeter off the ice in last year's Stanley Cup playoffs, a Stanley Cup final that could have really turned the tide of Game 1. We're talking about that, and that's the standard we want to set. It's like human error is going to happen. I'd rather just see no offside review period. Less review the better.
The big thing is going to be there's going to be,
because what's next? They're going to review penalties,
but there's going to be a Game 7 overtime goal that gets reviewed.
Yeah,
and it's going to be
it'll
one
be,
way or the other. It's either going to be the right call, and it's going to impact the game either way. But there's going to be so much pressure on that call. And what if it's a toe off the ice call, or what if it's minimal contact with the goalie call? And this is a series. What if it's a Stanley Cup clinching goal?
Well,
if that ever happens,
here's 3 examples of
I'd
the Stanley
love
Cup.
to be the person that's trying to figure that out.
Well, here's 3 examples.
Actually, I would hate to be that person, but I'd love to see them try to do it.
We think of weird calls involving refs in Cup finals. Last year, Philip Forsberg offside, not offside, or offside, no goal.
It was stupid. It was no way to like, you should not be able to superimpose a replay, put it at like 0.1 speed of its full speed, and be like, now we know conclusively. Like, screw that. No one's going to catch that, and we don't need to be that precise. Stop ruining the hockey that we're trying to play.
Is it possible? Sorry, that's interrupted.
No.
Is it possible? I agree with. Do away with like. I'm fine keeping the coach's challenge for goalie interference, even though it's a gray area. Keep that. Get rid of the coach's challenge for offside. Is there not a way that you take out the coach's challenge, but the goal is immediately reviewed in Toronto, and if they go, hey, that was offside, like egregiously offside, they can, tell the timekeeper who rings the horn and says, come here, the command center has called the goal back. Can they not do that? Because
they do that, like, not with offside, but that is what they should do.
They should do that because it takes out the challenge. But then if something blatant is missed, they will pick up on it and they will call it back.
Yeah, I think that's a good situation. The other thing too is it's like it's the same thing with. There's times the game's played pretty quickly. There'll be a shot that can hit the inside bar, come out, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's in." Maybe so. The play goes the other way. The ref didn't see it, and then command center says, "Nope, that was in." We reset the clock to that point. It's a goal for that team. And it's the same if a puck's over the line, right? Like, there's no challenging in that. Like the game-winning goal for the Flyers, like there's no challenge there. They just want to get it right. So glove clearly over the line. Yep. They got the call right, and there was no challenge needed. It took minimal amount of time, and it was something that could have been done by the command center, and that is why you have it. Yep. And I am totally okay if that's their decision to go forward with offsides. And honestly, it could be the same thing with command center sees the goalie interference twice, boom, done. And really, I don't know if the GMs are the right people to be making this decision. Maybe ask the players and say, what do you guys want? Because you guys are the ones playing the game. You guys are the ones that are training. You're not sitting up in a press box, and this is no insult to a GM, because I would love to be in their position one day. Would love to be a GM of a hockey team. I've dreamt of it since I was like 9 playing NHL 99.
I thought it was since you were 13 when you said, I'm never looking at that medal ever again.
Yeah.
I'm going to win it.
I was
He
12.
did it.
He peaked this week, didn't you?
No.
He did. He peaked.
He's trying to pack stuff up. So.
No, he peaked. He peaked.
He did.
If you're
Either way.
packing stuff, you got to peak.
Either way.
It was the unintentional peak. It was the you're looking at. You're like, damn it.
No! I second turned into an hour,
Yeah.
and he blinked. But ever since you want to be a GM,
Well, no, like
You're not
I'm
playing
not
the
trying
game.
to. I'm not trying to throw shade at the GMs, but I'm thinking that maybe the players should have some insight when it comes to things like. I honestly cannot believe how little player representation there is at these types of meetings.
well,
You're
Ron
ta-
Hainsey's still playing hockey. Come on,
I know you're right. Sorry,
yeah.
You can't wear two hats. at
and
once.
we're honestly we're approaching another lockout in 4 years, so that's gonna be nice once we're there because it's gonna happen. It's inevitable.
It's the NHL. Welcome
Yeah.
to why
Welcome
would
to
we
Gary
have
Bettman's
progress?
hockey.
Nothing says welcome to the NHL Seattle like a lockout. Because that's supposed to be their first year.
Seattle
If
Totems.
they
Is that the team name?
the Totems,
Actually,
that is what was teased by the mayor of Seattle.
I
He was
thought it
on
was going to be the Kraken. I was so.
he
pumped.
was on the radio. And
That's
he's like,
That's
Killer
one of the
name.
names they trademarked. Seattle
Yeah.
Kraken.
so he let it slip. Now people are reading to
So
it, obviously, but he said in this interview, or I guess he was on the radio. He's like, "Yeah, I'm looking very forward to Vancouver Canucks versus Seattle Totems." And maybe that's just a complete misdirection to like get everybody to like flog and make their
because they're gonna steal
like Twitter names and everything.
they're
like
gonna
that.
steal the Canucks logo and put the Canuck on the bottom of the totem. But the totem, it's gonna be okay. Stick with me here. Your skates, the skates will be the orca. The socks will be a different animal. The pants will be a different animal, and it's gonna be a 3-tiered college-style jersey. 3 other animals. The top, eagle head, white helmets.
I just.
Visors, yellow tint.
There's nothing more
That's
terrifying.
awesome.
What is more terrifying than a giant octopus? Call him the Kraken. Just do it.
Well, do they want to be terrified? Are you terrified of people in Seattle? Every time I see there, I
Would you be
see
terrified
rain
of
and coffee.
of a giant octopus?
Yes.
Yes. You see?
But hey, I have a fear of looking up at really tall, holding still structures too.
Actually, I have a quick question. Okay, so Seattle, it's basically a foregone conclusion at this point.
Well, they've submitted their request.
Which team moves to the Central Division?
Um,
Because would they really have 2 more
Denver.
teams in the Pacific?
Colorado.
they're already
are.
in the Central.
Colorado?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So
Arizona.
the
Arizona.
Coyotes.
The theory that everyone's saying is the reason why it's so far out is because Arizona's going to move to Houston, and Houston will be the other team. And Houston, good for you. You're going to have a Stanley Cup champion by 2024. I'm calling it now.
Okay, hot take though.
Okay,
no
I'll
one
break
goes
that
to
one
watch
down.
the Stars play, so why do you want 2 Texas teams?
No, they're gonna. Oh.
Because
Houston had a pretty good
Houston
team.
has an owner
Yeah, but-
that wants the team. He finds it viable, and it's Gary Bettman. He loves Sunbelt. Well, not Sunbelt. He loves desert teams. He
Love
loves
those
just-
half-empty Sunbelt arenas.
Yeah.
It's great.
Nothing wrong with nacho cheese filling on your hot dog and nachos. They're delicious.
Nothing wrong with the family fun pack where you get a hot dog and a drink.
Hot take. I think I already know the name of the Houston team. Houston team. Not the Hot Boys. Arrows. Just keep it the AHL. They're
Yeah.
already established, and it's
Good.
a great logo.
It is.
No one has that cut. Well,
No one
no,
really has.
they'd
the
have to
color
do a
scheme.
tinge because in both Texas teams will have green in it, but
That's fine.
great colorways already.
But they have blue mixed into it. It's like almost Hartford Whaler colors, from what I remember.
Well, they've
Didn't-
changed it a
didn't
few
Houston
times.
have did they ever have an NHL team? Like
No,
they-
but they've always had AHL and
Yeah, I know
IHL
that, I know.
forever.
People are also talking about Kansas City potentially being another suitor.
Yeah.
Kansas City Scouts from
Yeah,
back in the
Scouts.
day.
Oh, they'll go back to the Scouts.
Why not?
Chiefs? The Chiefs? No.
You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
do
okay, you
Chiefs.
can't do football.
Well, and not in this day and age.
Well,
Can you
that's
do Chiefs?
true. That's true.
Although, who does Totems offend? Trees, I guess.
Well, no, like they have a very. It
Trees.
is an ode to.
They can't
their-
even write a letter. They have to kill one of their own to write a letter.
No,
Anyways,
I think it's an ode to the Native American population there.
oh, like
Because,
Kansas?
No, in Seattle, that's what the totems are. I think because that's what the Seahawk. Like if you look, that's a reflection of totems as well as the soundbirds. I think is what they're called.
I'm holding out.
Sounders.
No, what's
Seattle
the
Sounders.
no? What's
Thunderbirds?
the WHL Thunderbirds? It's also
Oh,
known for that as well.
Thunderbirds.
I'm holding out for Kraken. Let's do it.
Kraken would be sweet. And then you could get a sponsor of the Kraken. You know,
Yeah.
like, drink the Kraken.
Sorry, we don't serve beer here. We only serve dark Kraken rum. That's it.
Have you tried that
Oh.
stuff? It's not that good.
No,
I
but
know-
that's
I
the
know-
point. All
I
their
know
fans are
people
going
who
to be
like it.
just belligerently drunk or wired on coffee. They only serve straight
Straight
dark rum,
Kraken.
Yeah.
or straight Kraken,
Or Starbucks.
or straight
Or
coffee.
No,
No,
Starbucks. Espresso, no milk, no sugar.
And
Straight espresso.
in their arena, they're going to have certain areas where you can sit down with your laptop and start writing your book.
Nice. While you're watching
Outside of
hockey.
every Starbucks.
While you're
Above
watching
the
hockey.
Jumbotron.
But no, you're not even watching. You just get a live feed. Like there's just a TV above every table, so you can just watch it. So you're super meta. Well, I was at the hockey game writing my novel because I don't believe in capitalism.
Speaking of
Capitalism.
speaking of novels, Chris Jericho writes books. He's also from Winnipeg. I was at the Jets game last week. He had another one of his Jumbotron things.
What did he do now?
It was
Who
a
were
guy,
they playing?
Chicago.
Okay.
It was a guy in a Hawks jersey, and he like walks up behind the guy. He shoves the guy from behind. Guy goes flying forward. He's like, "Hey, Chicago, you just made the list. Go Jets!" And he just I was like-
Again, he's just keeping her going.
The Nashville one was good. That was the better one.
The Nashville one was there was a Preds fan. He's like, "Go Preds, go!" And then he shoves him out of the way, and he's like, "Preds are stupid. Cheer for Jets, cause Jets they get in a fight. A Jet smashes and explodes a Predator. Go Jets, go!" And like even like the people that I was in it, I was like, kind of losing me. I'm back in it. All right, death.
Jets fighting for and they explode.
Death explosions.
Right? And he even
Isn't
pauses.
that okay?
He's kind of like, right? I was
Go,
like,
Jets,
yeah, I was
go.
like, okay. That was good.
So
Anyways.
the next thing.
Oh
is,
wait, what team would actually? So Houston would come over. Yeah, because they're not going
Okay,
to
but
break.
if that doesn't happen,
Kansas City.
but what if the Coyotes don't move?
Then Coyotes stay. Go in
The
this.
other
Hot
the
take?
other idea.
They're not going to split up Edmonton, Calgary.
No,
not?
no.
What do
The
you mean,
other
why not?
No, the other idea is bring Edmonton, Calgary over and give Colorado over to the Pacific
Or Dallas?
Oh,
or Dallas.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I'd be down for more Oilers Jets.
In
Yeah.
Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah, just terrible franchises keep playing against the Jets. Easy wins, right? Might as well make the division easier. Let's take out all the hard teams and put all the easy teams into the division.
Well, now that
Well, they
Chicago's
seem,
in
they
the
seem
crew
to be
too.
doing just fine with all the hard teams. So
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right.
Well, as long as Nashville's always there, you're gonna have. There's got to be cream of the crop.
You got it.
There's a cream and then the crop.
So, the other thing that the GMs are talking about, I think it's time to move on,
Yep.
is the playoff format.
Okay.
Because it's angered and frustrated a lot of people, and it's going to frustrate me this year. And as a hockey fan, it should frustrate hockey fans to have this terrible playoff format. Because every hockey fan believes it should be 1-8 instead of let's separate it into different quadrants and then
I
have a wild
personally
card.
like when your team isn't good enough to hold down a good spot, they get an easy spot, and if they knock out one guy, they're pretty much in the conference finals because they don't have to play the two best teams play the second round.
You know what?
Why?
I
What
like
the hell?
I like the format, but I don't like the fact that like you're like for instance Nashville Winnipeg, it's gonna happen in the if it happens, which I think it will. It's gonna happen in the second round. That should be a conference final because in my mind that's the two best teams in the West.
Because most likely,
And then you look at Tampa Bay Boston again, can only happen in the second round.
no love.
What about Toronto?
No love.
What about Toronto? Like, hey, but no, in all reality,
I
the
think-
top three teams in the East are all in the Atlantic, and two of the top three teams in the East are guaranteed to be out before the conference final. If
I
that
know.
is not fucked up, I don't know what else is. The NHL is broken because Gary Bettman needed to tinker to try to create divisional rivalries. There is no need for it because the rivalries will start themselves. Nashville, Winnipeg, if that's a conference final, that's a 10 times better series than if it happens in the second round.
I still think it'd be great.
It
Well,
would
yeah,
be, but there's so much more on the
sucks.
line.
It
I
should
agree,
be.
but if you believe in Toronto, then you should say, "Hey, we're going to beat both those teams."
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not what I'm saying. Whether it's Toronto, whether it's Boston, whether it's Tampa Bay, two of those three teams, there are the top three teams in the East, are out. They are the cream of the crop in the East, and you're saying that they're not good enough to get through the two rounds because they had to play the other top teams. It just
agree.
doesn't make sense. The other thing as well is now you have Tampa Bay or Boston. Let's say Boston, for instance. Boston plays Toronto first round, really long, good 6-game, 7-game series. They get, played really hard, so they play Toronto. They beat Toronto, 6-game, 7-game series. They go to Tampa Bay, 7-game series, beat Tampa Bay in Game 7. Now they go to the other side, and they get to play, like, Washington, or, well, let's be honest, Washington's not making it through the second round again. So Pittsburgh or Columbus or the Devils. It's just a deflating
I
series.
see no love. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because but the other thing too is then you have Nashville, Winnipeg in the second round. Let's say Winnipeg or Nashville wins. Either team, doesn't matter. Their next series is against Vegas or San Jose. Like, it's just, it deflates the playoffs. It hurts it, right?
Sign me up. Hey, Vegas, sign me up.
Well, of course.
But what would you rather have? Would you rather have Ottawa, Pittsburgh in the conference final last year, or or Washington, Pittsburgh in the conference final last year?
Washington finally slays the beast of the second round, and then they get to
Let me say this.
What makes more sense to the NHL? What grows the game more?
Let me say this. I agree with you. As an impartial fan, I love seeing those matchups later in the playoffs. As a Jets fan, I don't want them to play Nashville, period. I hope Nashville loses in the first round. Because, you know why? Do I think Winnipeg can beat Nashville? Yeah, I do. My blood pressure is going to be through the freaking roof the whole 2 weeks, and I might die. So honestly, as a Jets fan, Nashville, go away.
Get the hell out of here.
But yes, I agree with you. The two best teams should be the two teams. It should be as late as possible that those two teams are playing.
Because you're trying to propel everything to the Stanley Cup.
So what if the division leaders crossed over once the playoffs started?
Well,
it kind of takes away the point of having a division, but so say Nashville and Vegas swapped.
So Vegas would be one in the Central?
And
because now they're playing for the Central title. And there's no point for that.
I know.
Like,
So
in all reality, it should just be your two division winners or 1-2 in the conference, and then you have everyone else after it.
The other thing too is that I don't think it would work with hockey because in the NFL, like if you look at the Super Bowl this year, who are the two best teams in the NFL?
In the NFL,
Philadelphia and New England. What was the Super Bowl? Philadelphia and New England.
Yeah.
The top teams get a bye in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then they are not playing the number 2 seed; they are playing the wild card.
No, they're playing the winners from the wild cards. So they're playing the 3 seed or the 4 seed, which is completely different than the NHL.
I know,
where the 1 seed plays the 2 seed.
But they're not playing the 2 seed until the earliest is the championship game, right? I don't know how you can, when it's more than a 1-game shot, justify having teams that get a bye, unless you did a 1-game wild card playoff.
They're the best.
But
coming from baseball, they are the
here's
best.
The thing: why it works in baseball. A limited number of teams make the playoffs. You only have 10 teams in the. You only have 10 teams in the playoffs in baseball. With hockey, you'd have 16, so you're looking at extending it to 18, maybe 20 games.
So you're diluting the talent.
So they're talking about this in the NBA right now, where they're saying that, well, there's a huge issue in the NBA with tanking because everyone wants to create the next super team to be able to compete with the super teams because their salary cap has been so inflated with the most recent TV deal. It didn't happen in the NHL. It happened more significantly in the NBA. Plus, you carry much less players, so you can really afford to overspend on your core guys.
Yeah.
So, and there's also the ability that you can spend over your cap with the luxury tax and all that. So, what they were saying was they said, okay, well, to combat tanking, let's allow 20 teams in the playoffs. Let's say that 10 now plays 7 for a wild card game and 9 plays 8. So you're adding 2 teams per conference for an extra wild card game. To me, less is more. Less teams in the playoffs, it means it's more of a battle to get it. It means more. It matters more. It makes every decision you make from July all the way through till the trade deadline and beyond more important. Those lineup decisions, especially if you're a bubble team, if you're a Columbus, a Philadelphia, a Florida, how you manage your injuries, what you have coming down the pipeline to fill in when you have injuries, it matters more with less teams making the playoffs. The only way your theory would work, Dan, in my opinion, to make it the best possible hockey would be 6 teams make the playoffs, 4 plays 5, 6 plays 3. They play a 3-game series, then 3 games in 4 nights, which would tire the teams out. They each get a break, like a day or 2 break, and then you go into the other series. The only issue with that now is the first place and second place teams have an extra week to get healthy. I guess that's the bonus of being able to come in. The other thing, too, is that I would take those. You might see more upsets that way just because you're now playing a team that hasn't played hockey, like a game, an actual game, playoff hockey yet, against a team that's potentially played 3 games already that matter. Because for some of these first and second place teams, like Nashville, Winnipeg, a little bit less for Winnipeg, but definitely for Tampa Bay and Boston, other than trying to win and getting first in the conference, there's really nothing else they're playing for. They know they're in the playoffs. They know that they're going to be in the 1 or 2 spot. There's not much else to play for. And it's about playing meaningful hockey. It's about finding a purpose. One of the teams right now that really has nothing to play for is Toronto. They're solidifying that number 3 spot. It would take a miracle for them to overtake Boston or Tampa Bay. So really, they have nothing to play for. And that's what this playoff format has also hurt as well. Because if they had something to play for, because they would be moving up or down depending on how Pittsburgh, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Washington would all be doing. So,
well, and the thing with Toronto,
it's not a good system. I think that keeping 16 teams is the best thing to do, but I'll be curious to see what else they get.
Like the Leafs have been in the spot that they're in for like most of the season, have they not? Like they've basically been 3rd place. We probably won't catch the 2 teams ahead of us, but the teams behind us are so far behind. Like they've kind of been in that spot most of the year.
Well, they were 2nd place for a while, and then Boston went on there
But most of the year, they've been in a position where they're like, well, we're probably going to be 3rd, right? So
yeah.
And like you said, I mean, they've been fine. They haven't slumped or anything because there's no, like you said, not motivation. But it kind of sucks that for the last 3 months, Toronto fans are like, well, we're going to finish 3rd. We know that. Whereas with the Jets, like in the last week, it's basically come. It's in the last week, it's become to the point where okay, we're going to finish 2nd. We're not going to catch Nashville. Minnesota's probably not going to catch us. We're finishing 2nd. So for the last couple weeks, you're hoping that they win, but you're hoping they just stay healthy. But they still, up until a week ago, they had the excitement of Jets are first, Nashville's first, Jets are first. And it's made it more exciting to watch. So I agree, having, knowing 2 months out that you're probably not going to move up or down, I mean, it's not as exciting,
Wouldn't it be great if it was like, they could, slide into 3rd place in the conference, or they'll be 4th place, or San Jose's playing hot, so they'll get caught. Like, there's obviously always going to be times where you're going to have some discrepancy between, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place teams versus everyone else. But when you have a division like the Atlantic that is as weak as it is, yeah, you've got teams that are feeding off of the bottom feeders really well, and they're obviously pumping up their points. But regardless of that, it shouldn't hurt those teams because they're in an easy division, and it's hurting those teams. It's preventing better hockey from being played. Now, obviously, I think Washington, Tampa Bay, or Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay in the conference final, or Boston for that matter, would be just fine. But it's the principle of the idea that Ottawa did it last year. They went through. They beat New York. Did they beat New York, or Montreal beat New York?
No, they beat
New York beat Montreal.
Ottawa beat New York, yeah.
But Ottawa ended up beating New York, right? So
yeah.
It just led to less exciting hockey. And I think if the divisions were 1-8, it would have been Ottawa, Toronto originally, which would have been so much.
There's more variety for matchups too if you go 1-8. Like,
yeah,
I would say have the 1 and 2 slot. That's your 2 division leaders, and then you rank those accordingly. Even if say Nashville and Winnipeg were both ahead of Vegas, it would still go Nashville, Vegas, then Winnipeg.
Yeah, I agree.
So give those 2 teams, the 2 division winners, the top spots, and just rank the other 6. Go 1-8. You get more variety. I think I like the playoff format better when it was 1-8 because you got different matchups, and then obviously the flip side to what they do now is it builds rivalries, right?
Colorado
You've had
back in the day.
You've had Pittsburgh, Washington, 3 years in a row? You've had,
No, the first time was last year, since 2009.
No, but since they've made playoffs.
No, they played the last 2 years in the playoffs.
Pittsburgh, Washington?
No, they didn't it didn't happen the year before.
Yeah, it did.
Pretty sure it didn't.
No, because
both years Pittsburgh won the cup, they beat Washington in the playoffs. Yeah.
In the second round.
Yep.
Well, while you figure that out,
I thought Washington didn't even get through the first round.
They made it 2 years ago. Would have been they beat the Flyers. Because the Flyers, they beat them in 6 games. Because
then
they played against Pittsburgh. Okay, then they lost to Pittsburgh.
I'm just saying it's
every year they beat Washington and win the cup.
Yeah, but and you'd love to have that be a conference final. If you go 1-8, it still might not be.
But the other thing too is
but if you went 1-8 and those 2 teams were 1 and 2 and they made it all the way to the conference final, it would be those 2 teams against each other, right?
Well, yeah. What you could do
more exciting.
Yeah,
the league that
so you guarantee if that matchup's going to happen, it's going to be in the conference.
The NHL adopted the overtime rule of how you can It's 4-on-4 overtime, 5 minutes. They adopted that from the Swedish Elite League. In the Swedish Elite League, in the first round only, the top 3 teams get to pick their opponents, or the top 4 teams get to pick their opponents.
Sweet.
So the first team
Gets first pick.
It's like, oh, do you want to pick the weak team, who could be Colorado, who's on like the weakest team 8, who could be on a tear? So you're like, no, we got, but like, say if Jets finish second and no one took Dallas, and it's like, oh, we're taking Dallas. Like we got their number.
We run there.
And then it just gets once it happens, that's when it goes back to the rankings.
That's
I
cool.
still think
But that only for the first round.
I
That's
still
crazy.
think just taking all the top 16 teams in the league and doing it that way would be great.
That'd be,
Yeah.
well,
I know
obviously,
they'll never do that, but
Who
that
doesn't want a Minnesota Winnipeg final?
or a Calgary Edmonton final, or a
That'd be sweet.
Toronto Montreal final, or a like. There's
But
so
now here's the issue with that, and I really wonder this because we all know, we're not oblivious. I know it, you guys all know it. Everyone in Winnipeg definitely knows it. There is definitely a bias to Toronto. What happens if Series 1 is Toronto-LA? Well, Toronto versus LA, if it's Toronto on a Saturday night, but the game's in LA, first of all, how do you justify it to LA fans? Say, no, because you're playing Toronto, we have to play the game at 5 o'clock, but we always play at 7 o'clock. No, but we have, no, sorry, it would be 4
it'd be
o'clock.
like them playing a road game.
Yeah, they're 2 hours
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah, they'd be playing
No,
at
I
4
know.
o'clock. And,
And
that to me
there's-
is where that problem arises,
Yeah.
is there's such an Eastern bias that it just won't.
Yeah,
What
but-
if you get a cup final?
But you have
of
weekend
this?
playoff games that happen in the afternoon. Who cares?
No,
but
what if you get? What if
There's
hypothetically?
just too much of an Eastern
I
bias
know.
to make it work.
It'll never happen. But there's many reasons why it won't. Travel costs, logistics. It just
What
won't
if you
happen.
get an Islanders Rangers final? Who's gonna watch that in the West? No one. Not one person.
the way the Islanders play this year? I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah. Well, the Islanders.
Well, they're getting rid of Jonathan today.
I just wrote this as a note. Tavares played wing on Sunday
Yeah.
against the Canes.
Yeah, no, they
Oh,
said-
good. Yeah. Why do that?
They said that they're moving him to wing to see how he does.
What do you mean? See how he does on another team next year? Stop it.
Yeah.
Enough.
That's okay. He's going to sign in Montreal. And
You know what contract's gonna look
I know, right?
really
It's
dumb
happening.
once he leaves is the who is it? Josh Bailey. That deal's gonna look mighty dumb.
He hasn't played a lot with Tavares, has he? Doesn't he have the other guy? Doesn't he have Barzal?
No, Bailey has been playing with Tavares all
Oh,
year.
piss.
He's got like 60 some odd
Tavares
points.
gave him
He
the
made the
own-
All-Star game this year, and
Nothing.
they signed him to like a $5.5 million
Nothing's wrong
contract.
with
but-
making an All-Star game. What's wrong? What's wrong
What?
with that? I
Well,
love All-Star games.
I'm just saying.
They're
I
the best.
What are you referencing?
I'm not trying to reference anything.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know Bailey was in the All-Star game. That's,
Oh,
that's
really?
my only yeah, I totally forgot.
Okay, so last point before we obviously leave for
Yep.
today.
Second last point.
Okay.
I have a point.
Do you have a point?
Dan, do you have a point? Dan's got a point. Third
Okay.
last point. Thanks
Probably.
for asking.
So,
did you
I
just
can-
assume?
Yeah, I did. I did just assume. So, there's some debate recently in the online community about what the Hart Trophy means. I'm sure you guys have all heard of
I
it.
know where you heard this. Yeah.
So, I want to go through and I want to ask you guys who your Hart Trophy right now.
Winner is?
Yeah, if you had to pick a Hart Trophy winner right now, who is it and why? And how are you relating it to the trophy? And who it
Because we're saying our winner, why he should win,
why he should win, and
related as to why it's the trophy winner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dan, you ready?
Oh, I've been listening to the debate for the last couple weeks.
I already know who Dan's gonna pick.
No, you'll be surprised.
Okay, fine.
I'm not-
I'll go. Clearly,
Okay.
we all know who I'm going to pick.
I will go.
Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, that's my.
Oh,
That was mine too. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Okay.
It's most
If you have
valuable
to look
to
at the
team.
definition of the trophy, it's most valuable player. It's not the guy who puts up the most points, which sadly is usually the guy that wins it. Sorry, to me, honestly, if
That's what
I'm,
the Art Ross is for.
if I'm putting my ballot together for nominees, because I think when they do the ballots, they each put down 5 guys, like
Yeah.
1 to 5. Kucherov's on my ballot, but he's not top 3.
Agreed.
Do you know why? Because Nathan McKinnon has single-handedly carried that Colorado team this year, and you look at where they are. So McKinnon's my number 1. My number 2 is probably Taylor Hall. Exact same thing. Look at what he's done this year, and look at where the team is. Look who he has around him. He's my number 2. My number 3 is Wheeler because, again, he's carried that team all year. He's an 80-point guy right now. He played center for 2 months when their number 1 center went down. His point totals actually went up. So to me, he's carried the Jets this year.
Shifes has got to go. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Hashtag Shifes, bye.
So to me,
Hashtag Shifley out.
yeah.
to me, and this is not a slight to Kucherov because he's a fantastic player. He might win the Art Ross this year, but
I'll name 3 reasons to help you against Kucherov.
Those 3 guys I would put those other 3 guys ahead of him because those guys, without those players, those teams might not be where they are.
Kucherov has Steven Stamkos, Victor Hedman, Andrei Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
Those other guys,
Yeah.
I don't know the starting goalie in Colorado right now. Is it
It's
still
Varlamov.
Varlamov? Okay, then I do know.
You
this.
can
But
argue
still.
that Wheeler has a great supporting cast. I mean, he's got the most assists in the NHL, but also he sets up Patrick Laine all the time, right?
But it's
But
value
more
to
than-
your team.
He's
right?
so valuable to the Jets that he has to be. To me, he's a nominee.
Because when you look to me, what the Art Ross is, or not Art Ross, sorry, Hart, is most valuable to team. What does that player bring to your team that makes him the most important? So the big debate is Connor McDavid should be because he's the best player in the league. It's not about being the best player in the league because he is extremely valuable to
He's
his team.
expected to be the best on his team.
Yeah,
Always.
He's extremely valuable to his team, and when he's out, the team's not going to perform as well. So yes, he belongs on the ballot, but he doesn't win because he hasn't been able to create enough value to his team to bring his team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think playoffs should matter. So here's my honest ballot right now.
I have a question. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
My honest ballot right now would, if I was allowed to fill one out, number 1 is Nathan McKinnon. Number 2 is Blake Wheeler. Number 3 is Taylor Hall. Number 4 is Frederick Anderson. Number 5 is Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm leaving Kucherov out is because if you look at that team, you cannot have a team that has 2 players that are most valuable to their team because you can make arguments that both Andrei Vasilevsky and Nikita Kucherov have been MVPs for their team this season. You can't put them on the ballot.
That's a weird double-edged sword. You can't be so good you're both nominated.
Exactly.
So neither of you are nominated.
That's my theory.
That's fair. It's fair, though. It makes sense.
I have a couple questions for you guys.
Go.
So number 1, playoffs matter, obviously, right? If the Avs and the
to
Devils,
the Hart Trophy
Yeah.
debate?
yeah, if the Avs and the Devils don't make the playoffs, are Taylor Hall, Nathan McKinnon still nominees?
No. I nominate them.
I would still
Mario
nominate.
Lemieux won it in
But
what,
88.
The last,
yeah.
but he's the last guy to win the Hart Trophy on a team that
30
doesn't
years
make the
ago.
playoffs.
But
So that basically guarantees you that, say it's Kucherov, with those 2 guys, it's going to Kucherov. Why? Tampa made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
My other question for you, I totally agree. I think Anderson could be an MVP nominee. You could argue Vasilevsky should be one.
We could argue anyone. I mean, Andrew McDonald's pretty good this year.
But here's my thought. The tricky part with goalies in the MVP, if you don't win the Vezina, how can you be the MVP?
okay,
Numbers
here's
wise.
why.
Can you? Because Frederick Anderson, honestly, he probably deserves to be, I don't know if he's a nominee, but he deserves to at least be heavily considered for that. But he's not going to win the Vezina. So,
Because his numbers aren't as great in the Vesna, but he's good enough to...
So-
damn. See,
but that's
Here,
my
let's see what
question.
Greg's
Can
got.
you justify him being a Hart Trophy winner, but not winning the Vezina?
Yeah, for sure. In
Yeah.
my mind, I
Because
could...
honestly, right now, he's not. If I pick Vezina guys, he's my number 4 for nominee.
Behind Hellebuck, Rene, and Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky. Yeah.
Okay.
But I agree. For Toronto, he's been so big for that team this year. How do you not include him in that?
Yeah, I think you can, and the reason why is because you're not comparing best on best. You're comparing most valuable, which is what the award says.
Oh, I agree.
Is not best player. That is what the Vezina is for. The goalie that has been the best this season. And yes, I would agree. He's on the Vezina ballot. I don't know if he's a Vezina finalist. The only reason why I think he would get a Vezina finalist over a guy like Hellebuck is because Toronto versus Winnipeg. Only reason. Not because one has played substantially better than the other. I think they are very equal this season. You could definitely make an argument that Hellebuck's been better. But what the value that Anderson brings to the team makes him able to win that award and be considered for that award. But right now he was out and Curtis McElhinney shut out the Habs. So
Played really well.
could be great defense for
Backup
Hey,
Ron
Hainsey.
he was the 3rd star of the week.
was.
Can't discredit that.
Who's the first
I-
Elmakin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Number
think
2 was Laine,
I
probably.
I think the perception of what the Hart Trophy is skewed. It's an MVP award, but I don't think it's voted on as an MVP award. Sadly, I think it's voted on as a numbers award.
The players,
Which is unfortunate because, and numbers matter. Like all the guys that we've mentioned for our, at least when it comes to the players for the Hart Trophy, you look at Wheeler, you look at Hall, you look at
they're
McKinnon,
top 10 players. At
Kucherov.
least.
They're all at least like they're all going to be 80 to 90 point guys, and numbers matter, but it shouldn't just be who has the most.
The award that the players hold more prestigious than the Hart is Ted Lindsay because it's voted by the players.
Yeah.
So I know it's not in the media. It seems like it's not.
Yeah.
But every player says they'd rather win the Lindsay than the Hart because Lindsay's voted on by your peers, and they know they're the players.
It's going to be McKinnon. Like,
It'd
well,
be
I
tough.
would, but that
I
was,
would be very surprised if it's not McKinnon.
But here's the thing with the Hart Trophy is, okay, if you want to change it from most valuable to most outstanding, which is what the CFL has, they have a most outstanding award, then make it the most outstanding player. But then you're essentially saying, well, we also have the Art Ross, which says points. Because normally I would say points would dictate who the most outstanding player is.
Yeah,
really.
exactly. I don't. But don't.
There's
dilute
no
it.
need to double dip, but
Yeah.
more often than not, the guy who wins the Art Ross wins the Hart, not necessarily wins the Ted Lindsay though.
Yeah,
Not always.
Not always.
but I think McKinnon. Yeah,
It's crazy that we all agreed on something.
maybe they should.
I had no idea you
Maybe
guys
they
were
should
gonna pick
revamp the way the awards are handed out. I don't know.
I
Maybe
still
they
like
should
our
have the
theory
Bobby
last year.
Orr Award for defenseman, most points, and then keep the Norris Award as the actual defenseman.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
only
maybe
say
they
this
should.
on defense of Ryan Suter should have a
couple Vesnas.
Norris,
Or a couple
Norris.
no Vesna and both now.
Yeah, no, he can win a Vesna, yeah.
I'd say not anymore. But
You know who's
back-
not-
But he should have at least been like
back
in the
the
top
day,
3.
Yeah,
You know
Come
who's not going to
on.
win a Vesna trophy?
Don't you do that? Don't say it.
Peter
Oh wait, we're saying
Mrazek.
Jamie Benn.
Oh
Jamie.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
old
I
Jamie.
thought we were talking about Norris. I thought you were going to toss in Andrew McDonald. I mean, life's
No,
not
he's
done
not.
yet for him, buddy.
So
Next year,
what was your last point you were going to make?
my
before
last
we leave?
point was: did you see that hashtag Melnick out billboards are appearing across Ottawa?
Yes, I have.
There's 5 of them so far.
Yeah.
What? How are you allowed? Do you just pay and you can put anything on a
I guess
billboard?
so.
Back to the awards quickly because I just want to
Yeah.
say one more thing. So
No. I'm silencing you.
they can give
Hate
the,
speech.
They can give the Hart to Kucherov. You can honor these other players in different awards. You can give McKinnon the Lindsay Trophy. You can give Vasilevsky the Vezina Trophy. I think Blake Wheeler's going to get the captain award?
Mark
The
Messier
Messier
award.
one. I think Wheeler's getting that one. So you can honor these guys that have had great seasons by giving them other awards, but at the end of the day,
It's a popularity contest.
it's the MVP should be who's most valuable to the team.
Yeah.
And it's going to be someone in the East because it always is.
In the East? For what?
For most awards because there's such a bias to the East,
I think
in my
Ivan
opinion.
Provorov should get a consideration for what's the facing adversity one? Masterton?
Masterton.
Why?
He has to play with Andrew McDonald every night.
that's true.
Come on.
That's true.
Well, we all know it's going to Brian Boyle.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's
Rightfully so.
I mean, close second would be Austin Matthews for the adversity he faces. The Bourgeoisie's trying to take
I don't
him
know.
down.
I would have to put Brock Besser on that list just because he has to deal with Jimmy.
That's true.
Trying to change his name all the time. There's an O and an E in my name, Jimmy.
You only got one, Brocky.
You only get one.
I like how he
Get
adds.
one.
I like how he adds a vowel, 2 vowels at the end
Yeah.
of Brocky, but they take away the O and the E.
First
Well,
name's on the jersey. That's right. Add him to the first name.
No, he
Take
calls,
him away from the
he
last
I
name,
got
add
it, I
the
got
first
it.
name.
Jimmy calls him Brocco. He takes the O and the E and puts it at the end of the first name.
Yeah.
Hey, Brocco.
Bissu. Bissu. Can I get a different number next year? You only allowed one number.
What
Doesn't
number is he?
Doesn't he wear 5?
He was 6.
6. Yeah. What
That's
a
a defenseman
terrible
number.
number.
He wore 16 at UND. I don't know what number he wore
Well,
at the
Trevor
develop-
Linden kind of.
Yeah, of course, but come on, pick a new number. They'll go 61.
Well, Jimmy knows how many jerseys that's going to sell, and if he only has one number, then it's not going to cost him.
Oh, yeah! He's trying to be cost effective. Cost effective Jimmy Benning. We all know he's just great at it.
I think there's going to be a new playoff tradition in Winnipeg this year too. They're going to do the whiteout, but Party Stuff now sells Amish beards
Oh, that's
that look exactly like Linne's beard.
But they're white?
No, they're like a blonde.
How much are they?
I don't know, but they were
Free ad, free ads.
they were advertising them yesterday, and they're advertising them as the Linne beard. It's going to be whiteout with beards.
I know Painter's pants are going to go. They're already starting to be advertised because Painter pants are
Oh,
all
yeah.
white overalls, right? Are you going again?
Probably.
If you
I
go,
know you're
would you
going to.
wear a white?
Yeah, I've already
white?
decided.
I'd wear
it
my
play-
white Jets jersey.
No, I won't wear a jersey. I'll buy a shirt. But
And then give me one of
if they
those.
do, if they
Because he
play,
has a Burmy white jersey.
no, I won't wear a bird. Yeah,
Can
never.
I wear your Burmy white
You
jersey?
could have
The white
it.
ones are snazzy. Why not?
Because it's got the blue stripe. You want to be all white. Don't mess around.
What if I wear my Leafs white jersey?
Okay, well, my thing is going to be if they play Minnesota in the first round.
Oh yeah.
I have Minnesota Wild stuff, so I'll wear that.
I think it'd be fun to go to mini. I can't afford to do it, but to go to mini for a
neither.
game.
It'd be sweet. They're,
You know
they're
what,
arena
Dad?
food-
Screw your wedding and just go to
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Exactly.
I don't need to get
You don't
married.
need to get save
I just
stuff.
gotta watch the Jets get knocked out in 6 games. Let's do that instead. Just kidding. That's not gonna happen.
Well, I've already been thinking about this. Like with my ABW movement, it's gonna be like the old days, Dan. You'll pick Winnipeg, and I have to pick against Winnipeg.
Hey, if they win a playoff
I'm
game
not
this year,
cheering for St. Louis. I won't do it.
if they win a playoff game this year, I'm happy. Success.
They're gonna win a playoff series.
I
I say
think so.
series. I think they're getting the series.
I think I still stand by whoever.
it's gonna be great. It's gonna
Whoever
be
gets through between Nashville and Winnipeg, they're in the final. That's my point. I have a point. If you want to,
Can I put this in first?
You can.
Oh
you can
no!
So, I don't know if this is like knowledge that was made aware before the podcast started. From the way I'm reading this, looks like Erik Karlsson and his wife have lost their son.
Yeah, that came out a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I don't think she had the child yet.
No. Well, she was pregnant.
Yeah. So he will miss Tuesday's game against the Florida Panthers. So.
Well, to say the least, I would only assume.
It's been a rough month because you had Jordan Stahl, their newborn daughter.
Yeah.
Now
couple weeks
Eric's
ago.
off. Wow,
It's been
that
that's rough.
sucks.
Yeah, because things in Ottawa weren't bad enough.
No,
this
no
year,
kidding.
right?
Especially with Eugene.
Well, and now I guess you want to get rid of that house because it's going to bring in a bunch of bad memories of like the ideas of what you were going to have with your family.
Well, no,
So you
but
can now sell the house in Ottawa and go move.
to Vegas. Is that where you're getting at? Is that going with this?
Not really. That's not what I want to.
No, not at all. We get you.
Last note I was going to say was there was an interview done by his name is at WPG MURAT on Twitter. Murat.
Winnipeg Mirror.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he did an interview with Trouba's agent. There was some very cryptic answers.
Oh,
But
True
one of
has a
them-
concussion.
Yes, he
We
does.
don't know.
One of those
In
answers.
case you couldn't tell by the fact that his
No,
legs.
but we didn't mention
In case
it.
you couldn't tell by when he stood up, his legs went the opposite way from each other. Yeah.
And then
He's kicked
the look of like fear on Tyler Mars' I was like, oh no, this is real. Like he reaches over the board.
It's good that they didn't show Buffalo because he probably would have been laughing because there's been like 3 times this year where there was one time Myers got a slap shot right in the nuts and he came to the bench and Buffalo was sitting there and he's like laughing at him on TV.
Okay, Murat, what
So,
cryptic messages?
anyway.
Well, like it was
He's
a
like-
very cryptic response. Is not trying to be too direct, but it does sound like they are going to be exploring offer sheets
I'm sure the
because he
Jets
doesn't
are
want to
okay
stay
with that.
here. Yeah,
Well, he's only
okay.
taking money out of his own pocket
So
with all
my-
these injuries.
exactly. But the other thing too is these injuries aren't his fault.
No,
but
of course not.
It's going to hurt his contract, and in all seriousness, like you can trade him to Detroit for Anthony Mantha
And Athanas, that
and
guy.
FSAU.
So my point is going
they
to
don't
be
need more for him.
That's Jimmy's night.
So my point you can tie into this. I didn't read that. I know the Jets are going to have limited cap space this year, and it's going to be kind of a playing Tetris with money. If they can keep Paul Stastny, I think they have to try. I don't know if he'll want to stay here. I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't know. He would probably have to take a bit of a discount, but the way he's played with Laine and Ehlers, it's not really a coincidence that Stastny comes and Laine's hot streak just takes off. And if you watch that line, they click so well. I think you have to at least explore the option of trying to keep him.
And honestly,
And if
just trade Scheifele.
if Trouba doesn't want to stay, then there's some money freed up right there for him.
No, for sure.
And I think the Jets decor, I think with the way Morrissey plays, Myers is when he's healthy, has been great. You know, I think they'll be okay without Trouba.
well, they have Tucker Pullman as well.
I
They have Sammy Niku, who's gonna.
yeah.
They have the talent.
I still think Trouba's gonna stay. I don't know. I don't know. That's my opinion.
I could also see
But-
them getting a discount, a discounted right-handed defenseman that's going to cost them $2 or $3 million,
Yeah.
which is what you need because you already have your top two. You don't need necessarily need that third, and maybe Tucker Pullman is the guy.
But I don't know if you want to call it a hot take, but I think they need to try. And, obviously we'll see how it goes, but the way he's fit in the chemistry there, I think they have to try.
No, a hot take would be he is signing because I saw him buy a house. I'm thinking he's buying a house. I don't know for sure, but that would be a hot take.
Who's
Well,
this?
No, I'm
clearly
just
he's
kidding.
not going back to St. Louis.
No,
Put it that way.
no.
Stasny?
Yeah.
Why, he doesn't like St. Louis?
They dumped him when they were in the playoff spot. Why would he go back? I don't think they want him anymore. Maybe if they can get him on a cheaper deal.
Maybe we'll go to Vegas. Paired up with
Maybe.
Wild Bill and his almost 40
He's
goals.
almost 40 goals this year.
That's awesome.
Evander came with his first 4-goal game of his career.
First hat
First
trick?
hat trick too.
Why
Hey.
not get 4?
I said that'd be a good he'd be a good fit there. And they only have to put up with him for like 3 months, so they won't get tired of his crap by then.
You
Who's
don't
this?
think they're going to
Evander
sign
Kane.
him?
Oh yeah, I think he's signing there.
Maybe.
It
I mean,
seems like he might like
he
it.
certainly fit in pretty well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
so that
think
was just my point. I think the Jets should try and
He looks like he's
Explore
having
the
fun
options.
playing hockey, which is nice to see.
and the chemistry's it's there.
It seems to be there. All right. Anything else? We're wrapping her up. We're about to fall for Dawn.
Falling for Dolan.
Yeah.
I forgot about this segment.
Oh, you forgot?
Yeah.
My goodness, Greg, come on. What's going on?
Get it together.
Get it together.
man.
Okay, future Cam, toss it in.
I've fallen.
Falling for Dawn.
I've fallen.
Rasmus Dahlin gör 1-0 för Frölunda.
I've fallen. And I can't get up.
Bottom 5. 3 of these teams already been eliminated from the playoffs. Those teams. Oh, and Montreal's been eliminated somehow. Ottawa has not. So
Somehow it's not a big secret why they're knocked out.
27th Ottawa, 28th Detroit, 29th Vancouver, 30th Arizona, 31st Buffalo. And we all know who Dolan's going to. It's going to be either Edmonton or Montreal.
Detroit, I just had a premonition. It came to me. Why? He's good at throwing sauce, the Little Caesars Arena, pizza, or
So
saucy
this is curious.
Detroit.
So this is interesting. The NHL, their Instagram account, 21 minutes ago, they must know we were talking about the Hart Trophy. They tweeted out a picture with the Hart Trophy, and there's a couple of guys around it, and they basically are saying that these are the guys that are in the running.
So you have
Nathan McKinnon, Evgeny Malkin, Kucherov, Taylor Hall, Connor McDavid, Blake Wheeler, Anze Kopitar. I don't know about the last one.
No, apparently he's on pace for like 35, 40 goals and 90 points.
So
or
that's who and if you take that with a grain of salt, that's probably the guys that are going to be getting most of the votes.
I wish
and
the
Cam has already commented.
What?
Yeah, as Zach O'Hara with Giroux, question mark.
I was gonna say they should troll people and just put like Andrew McDonald,
I would like to
Carl Elsner.
Instagram tag Free Sushi. They would like to nominate Johnny Oduya for the Hart Trophy. So
Okay, thank you very much for listening. If you,
You listened.
I don't know how to do this anymore.
Do it. Try and grab us.
Thanks for listening. You can take us on the go with you by looking up Last Minute Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, either whether it's through iTunes or through Podomatic, SoundCloud. You'll find us. We're there. You can also check us out on YouTube, Last Minute Podcast, how you find us there. You can also follow our Twitter at Last Minute PC on Twitter, and then you can also email the show lastminutepc@gmail.com. We will answer your questions live on the air.
Yeah, and if you want to join the AWB movement, ABW movement, hashtag ABW, I hope it doesn't stand for anything else, like terrible. But anyone but Winnipeg, you just got a piece of paper, write hashtag ABW, and staple it to your nearest tree. Don't even tell anyone you did it either.
no.
Oh,
Now
no.
this is just getting weird.
No, it's the ABW movement.
Y'all sleep on Claude Giroux. 84 points this season.
You're going rogue! Hi! We'll see you later. Oh, you have to have a tagline, or you don't do taglines?
What, for the
I
playoffs?
have a patented tagline.
What do you mean? What's
Like
your patent?
when we say goodbye, I say, I'll see you later. I'll see you another time. So do you want
That's
one?
not a patent. That's a movie.
It's a patented Cameron Home ABW.
No, it's not.
It
That's
is.
from I Love You Man.
No, Never heard
I'll
of
see you
it.
then, or I'll see you another time.
See you later, ladies on the Minji.
Later's on the
I just
Monday.
came up with that right now.
No, you did not.
I did.
No.
Amazing. You should write for Hollywood.
Right.
You should do a movie.
Gonna write letters to
You should do a movie about a bromance between Jason Segel and Paul Rudd.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And one of them loves Rush because I like the band.
Well,
Rush.
no, they both like Rush. They start playing Rush in a garage.
See, co-writers. Dan, you want to know this? Toss in any idea. You can.
You know, I'm having lunch with Lou Ferrigno. Let me see if he wants
Yes. Would you have a dog and let it shit anywhere?
No.
Great movie. I love you, man. Go watch it. In theaters as of 2009.
Really? That long ago?
Yeah.
Wow.